Today is February 6th, 2025. I'm Joseph Levy, and I'm interviewing Bobby.
I'm actually Beri Schwitzer.
Thank you for adding that, because I didn't have that since we just met
Exactly.
3 minutes ago.
Not a problem.
So let's start out with native Dallasite, or did you move here?
I moved here. I am actually a native of Las Vegas, Nevada. I met my beshert at a BBYO staff conference. My husband Joel is a Dallasite, a native, and as I believe a Lyle Lovett song says, I wasn't born here, but Texas wanted me anyway. And I am quite grateful to have spent the last 26 years as what I consider a Dallas native. And by Las Vegas terms, I'm practically a native already.
So then your family is in the West, but
Correct.
Your immediate family now,
Correct.
And your husband's family is here in Dallas.
That's right. And in fact, my family has been a part of the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association for several years. My father-in-law, Beri Schwitzer, served on the board and has always instilled the importance of philanthropy and of giving to his children and to our children, our grandchildren, Hannah and Miriam. And I have to say that Dallas Hebrew Free Loan has played a huge role in our life, both through the learning of philanthropy and of charitable giving and how to be able to take care of the community in a way that is unique to Dallas Hebrew Free Loan. People can come and receive a hand up, not just a handout. It is absolutely a way to be able to meet the financial needs when times are hard, which is part of our story. My husband Joel and I, as I said, met as nonprofit Jewish communal workers when we were in our 20s and have continued on in our passion in both Jewish education and in Jewish communal work. He is now the regional director of the American Jewish Committee here in Dallas, and of course I'm the executive director of the Dallas Jewish Historical Society, which gives me great joy and nachas. But with that said, a few years ago, it was our challenge to be in other roles, in other positions, and both dealing with health issues. We both have autoimmune diseases that caused us to have to spend a lot on insurance and unfortunately a lot on COBRA when we were switching positions. And had it not been for Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association, I wouldn't have been able to get my medicine for my Crohn's, which absolutely saves my life. To think that we live in a world, unfortunately, that it is an unnecessary evil. We need insurance, we need it to fill a gap, but Dallas Hebrew Free Loan made it possible when no other way was.
How did you learn about the Dallas Free Loan before you actually needed it for yourself? But how did you hear about it?
You know, it's one of those things. I think as a Jewish educator, I've always been aware of Maimonides' different levels of giving, and that over the last 100+ years in various communities, that this concept of a free loan association would be something that could strengthen our community. It's a way of giving tzedakah. It is a way of being a part of a charitable community that can support each other. And so in my time of growing up, of being here in Dallas, I knew that the Hebrew Free Loan Association had existed. I feel like almost like JFS and several of our other community organizations like the Federation, gratefully we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors who have built these organizations, and they've just always been a part of the warp and weft, the depth of our community. They've always been a part of our community.
Now, when you're twofold with the Loan Association, in the sense that family that have been involved in running it, we'll say, and then now family involved in being a loan recipient of it. How do you differentiate? How do you feel that between the two different ways that the Loan Association is so important to our community?
Oh, that's such a great question. Because as someone who has given to the organization and has seen it grow, as you said, as my father-in-law had been on the board and as a recipient, I feel that that speaks to, again, our Jewish values, that the reality that you never know what could happen tomorrow, that in this world we are not given any guarantees, and that it is up to us as our role, as Rabbi Tarfon says, is, we might not be able to repair all of the world, but we do what we can with what we have. And it is up to us to do something about it. And then this organization, the Hebrew Free Loan Association, I truly believe is the kind of thing that we can, it's always been a part of our fabric, and I feel like you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So gratefully, I've been a supporter and I've been a recipient. And the truth is, I think anyone in our community could find themselves in that circumstance, and we want to preserve this organization so that we'll always be there for the next person who needs help.
Being new to Dallas, I never heard of a Jewish Loan Association until just, this is terrible, but just 3 days ago.
Sure.
And how do people find out about you? When I say you, the loan association, that are in need,
Right.
but not been around, involved so much that they know about these different associations?
I think that's an excellent point, and I think so often what ends up happening is that, it is a small but mighty organization. It is one professional staff, and who just does the work of so many. Jane Larkin has my absolute appreciation and deepest of respect for the work that she does in our community. And the reality that it's up to us, to all of us, that once you know, that you can always make that recommendation, that it's so imperative that we all can support each other. The more we can share, the more we can educate, and that's really part of it, is that it comes to community education and community support.
Now, you've already told us about how, the why, the need, and how you were involved.
Right.
So do you have anything that you'd like to add? Because you've done a fantastic job of telling them, I'm going to say the world of whoever's going to see this video,
Sure.
of what a great organization you were involved with in both ways. So let's finish up with saying what you think is so important about the whole aspect of the Jewish Loan Association.
Sure. I think that what makes the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association so important and imperative to our community is the way that we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what wind is going to blow, what tornado is going to come in, what natural disaster, anything. And I believe that at the core, the midot, the values that Judaism represents in my life and in the community is that of that kind of support, that we're here to help each other to find a way. I am the child and grandchild of immigrants, and I believe that our family has made a difference by being American, by being Jewish, and having the kind of values the Dallas Hebrew Free Loan Association represents. And knowing its origin story, back 90 years ago, community members came together trying to find ways to support one another, and that's how they did it. They were able to give loans that could then be paid back and then paid forward again and again and again. And it's knowing that we've been that link in a chain, that we've been part of the community that supported the organization and part of the community that's benefited from the organization. I want to know that it's going to be there with those same Jewish values 90 years in the future. And it's my pledge and my promise to make that happen.
Now, do you want to add anything else before we say it's been a good day?
That it's been an honor to be a part of this organization, and knowing that my children are also, they see the benefit that it will happen. So hopefully with that 90 years in the future, that will include the two of them.
Now, that takes care of the Loan Association. And
Sure.
I think fantastic, because I didn't know anything about it. Now I know a lot about it. Do you want to add just a little bit about what you're doing now at the Historical Society, even though it's a different subject matter,
Sure.
but it's your life.
It is.
This is your life.
It is. This is such, I am quite possibly the luckiest girl alive when it comes to this community. I was telling someone yesterday, I was born and raised in a town, at a time, Las Vegas had, the year I was born, around 30,000 people. And of course now it's close to 2 million. And 90% of my childhood in Las Vegas has been torn down and rebuilt with everything else. And so it's really no wonder that as a Jewish educator and as a passionate historian and genealogist, that I found my way to Dallas. Because Dallas's 151 as of today, plus history is so rich and so warm and so welcoming, and there are so many beautiful stories that how lucky am I to be the executive director of the organization that gets to be the story keepers of the Dallas Jewish community. To hear the stories of the people that we know, right, that kind of are Dallas associated, the Zales, the Neiman's, the Marcuses, the Stearns, that there's so many, the Sangers, so many, but we all have that link in a chain, and every story matters. And so, thinking of a Schwitzer story is just as special as any story that comes along, and how lucky we are to be a part of that mosaic.
I want to thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Yay!
And I'm going to turn this off.